In our last exercise, we created a very simple corridor, but we also were introduced to targeting as we were able to take our subassembly for daylighting and tying it in or having it target a specific surface. Let's take another look at targeting from a different perspective. Let's go open up our exercise file, 0805 corridor targets. And what we're going to do is not target a surface in this case, but we're going to target a horizontal element. And notice here that we have drawn in our drawing a little bit of a drop off or additional lane, as you can see. So we have a taper at the beginning here, and we have a taper at the end. The alignment is heading from the left to the right. And so that was drawn in with AutoCAD. We see the edge of our travel way here and the curved lines drawn in with just regular AutoCAD lines. What we're going to do is we're going to take advantage of that, and we're going to stretch our lane subassembly to follow that path. To do that, we're going to target. So let's go ahead and select our corridor, as we're going to be editing our corridor. From the contextual ribbon under the Modify Corridor panel, we're going to choose Corridor Properties. Corridor Properties provides us information such as the Information tab, which is the same on all Civil 3D objects. Parameters, which provides us a list of the actual creation of the corridor. So from there, we see the horizontal and vertical controls for our linear path. That defines the baseline. And then within the baseline, we have different regions. Each region within the baseline has a start station and an end station and can have a specific assembly applied to it. So even along a corridor, we can have different assemblies applied, having a start station and end station that adjusts. We can have the same assembly applied to the same station, so we would have to make sure those start station and end stations line up. In addition, for each region, we have the frequency that can be used to apply our assembly to that region. What we're going to look at, though, is the column called Target. I'm going to click on the three dots for this region here and open it up. Here's the different types of targeting that you can use within Civil 3D. We already targeted a surface. That was really easy. And so depending on the subassembly will make a difference on what we can target or even if we can target. So in this case, with our Daylight General, we targeted the surface. What we're going to do with our lanes is we're going to target a width. Remember, the alignment goes from left to right, so what we're stretching is the right lane. And so I'm going to choose the object that I'm going to be targeting. Because it's a width, we simply need a horizontal object. So that could be an alignment, or it could be a regular polyline, survey figure that you can create, or a feature line, which we'll cover later. We're going to select that from the drawing and simply select the lighter magenta or purple line that we have along that taper that we talked about. I'm going to go ahead and press enter, and it's added to the list here of the different entities we're going to target. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Because I'm not adding a slope or elevation target to it, it won't change the slope. It will simply take the lane and apply a default 2% slope over a larger distance. Instead of just 12 feet, in this case, it'll go 24 feet at 2%. Go ahead and click OK. Click OK. Yes, I want to rebuild my corridor, so I'm going to just check that box so I don't see it again. Anytime I make a change, of course, you'd want to rebuild. And I hit escape and regenerate the drawing, and you can see how it cleanly tapers and stretches the lane. So we can use targeting again in three different ways. We can target a surface. Usually the subassemblies that target a surface are connected to daylighting. We can target a width. Usually a width is connected to a lane, a sidewalk, or some other means there where you're stretching width. You can even target an elevation that can be controlled. And again, that goes back to a lane or some other means that you may be targeting an elevation, which could be a profile or a 3D polyline in some way. even a feature line, which we'll talk about later. So we take advantage of those targets to give us a clean taper instead of applying a different assembly and having a different width. We just use the target so that we have the width go from 12 to 24 in a clean taper using that targeting.